Alright everybody, this is Sunday, February 4th. I'm down in my shop and I'm going to call this part 3 on the German flying saucer. What I'm going to be working on today is, I just had this all together. This is where I got the opening for the hatch. And the idea I came up with, where's it at? I'll explain it. This tube here used to hold solder, like this one right here, and I still got some solder left, and that's what I used to solder my LEDs and SMDs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this like an elevator shaft kind of thing that goes inside here, and have it opened up to where when the cargo ramp is open, you can see up into the saucer. It's hard to explain. And then I got this ruler here, and I just measured it, and then I'll use a permanent marker and mark it, and then I'll have to cut it. Like I said, it's hard to explain. I thought of like a ladder system going down and then out, but I think this idea is going to be a lot better. And then here's my marker. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark this best I can. And about right there where you see that, that's where I'll have to make my cut. Let me move this off the table. Let me pause the camera. I'm looking for something, and I'll be right back. Alright everybody, I was looking for this pipe cutter. Didn't think it would work, but I think it will, so I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot. Alright, I think I got it. Looks like it's cutting. Try to make sure I get a clean cut here. Let's see if it'll break off. Nope, it's pretty thick plastic. Okay. Have to keep working it. Okay everybody, back on my idea with this like elevator shaft for the German flying saucer. This pipe cutter seems to be working, but this plastic's having a problem with cutting it, so I brought this out. I'm going to turn it on, finish the job. So let's go ahead and get started here. didn't turn out too bad. I'll have to clean it up, but I think this will work. I'll have to cut the side here, but I'll have to measure that. Then I'll probably paint the outside black, so when you're looking inside you can't see the inside of the empty part of the bottom of the ship. So let me go ahead, pause the camera, clean this up, and I'll show everybody my idea. I'll be right back. Alright everybody, back on the German flying saucer. I overlooked one little modification to the bottom of the saucer. Is I'm going to have to open this section up right here. I'll have to cut that out so when you look up the ramp you can see the shaft leading up to the main floor of the saucer. So I'm going to have to cut that out like I did on the floor of the saucer. You can see right here where I cut it out. So I'm going to have to do that too. It's something I overlooked. So I'm going to make a little noise with my drill here and cut that out. So I'll go ahead and get started. I don't know, maybe I should just try to cut it out off camera. So I don't know how I'm going to be able to do this and let everybody take a look at me cutting that out. And I won't know if I'm in frame. Might be able to do it this way, but it looks like it might be a little complicated. So just let me go ahead and pause the camera and cut that out, and I'll be right back. Alright everybody, back on the flying saucer. I modified that piece to fit in, and turned out great. I'll have to show this somehow, what it looks like looking underneath up the ramp. And a little light showing up in there. Now you can see that looks pretty cool. I got that like elevator shaft there going up to the main floor of the saucer, and maybe I can somehow maybe light that up. I'll have to figure out what I can do about that, but with the light shining through there right now, that looks pretty cool. So when you look up the ramp you'll be able to see that. Take this off here. Take this off. You can see how I opened it up. I had to modify the top part of it, so I grinded that down a little bit with my Dremel so it would fit in there perfectly. I did have a idea of having a hatch, but a sliding hatch, but now that I have this I won't be able to do that. I might be able to put like a hatch or something on top there. I'll have to see what I have laying around, but then I opened that up there, so it's looking good. We all have an imagination, especially when it comes to building kits, and especially modifying a model to your liking. So I'm going to go ahead and pause for now on the work on this saucer. I'll get back to this next weekend. I'll be working on the control panels and the LED lighting, and I'll talk with everybody later. Alright everybody, another update on the Haunebu. The elevator I've been working on is turning out really good. I got this, I used this 3.2 millimeter channel. I cut a piece off of here, and then I'm going to center it there in the elevator. It's just sitting in there now. Then I cut a little piece to go into the channel, and then this little circle I cut out of a thin scrap piece of styrene, and then I flatten it on that one end there. If it focuses. So when it'll be sitting like this on the channel, giving you the idea it can move up and down to go up to the main floor of the saucer. I'm going to glue all that together and paint that by hand, and then I'll just paint this back here by hand. I'll paint it primer and flat black, and then I'll probably paint the channel and the platform flat aluminum, but I think it's going to look pretty cool once it's all done. So I'm going to go ahead and continue working on the handlebar and the elevator, and I'll talk with everybody later. Alright everybody, another update on the German flying saucer. I've been working on and off with the LEDs and fiber optics. I have 3 mounted for the main control panel, as you can see here, but I'm going to have to add one more right next to this one here where my finger is. The LEDs are so small, they're 3mm, that I'm having a little problem with the fiber optics, putting them into a bundle and coming out of this center one here for the lights that I'll have blinking on the control panels. So I'm going to have to drill a hole through there and add another one, and then I'll be ready to finish that control panel with the fiber optics. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the camera and probably work off camera with my drill here and put a hole in the floor there of the saucer, and I already got a LED wired up, so I'm going to go ahead and drill that hole and put the LED in. So I'll pause the camera, get working on that, and I'll be right back. Alright everybody, another update on the handlebar. I show everybody I added a 4th 3mm LED for the front control panel. As you can see here, I got 2 warm flashing or blinking, does both I guess, and the same with the white, and I did every other one. So I think it looks pretty cool, even without having to think about adding any fiber optics. Let me try to put that back on here, and I'll try to tilt it to where everybody can see. The lighting looks pretty good. I think it looks pretty cool. I may add a few fibers to it, I may not. In the bottom part right here, as you can see, they're a little faded compared to the others, but I don't know, I might just have to add some canopy glue or leave them like they are. I think they look pretty cool, and there's no light leaks because I got the inside light blocked. So I figured I'd give everybody a quick update. I do use 5-minute epoxy to glue the LEDs in place. Just have to use very little, so I don't have to waste the glue. But I'll continue working on the control panels. I need to do the 2 rear, add the lighting in the control panels, but I figured I'd give everybody a quick update. Zoom in a little bit more. Everybody can get a better look at that. I think that looks pretty cool. Let me zoom out just a little bit. So I'll continue working on this, and I'll post more when I get the 2 rear set up, and I'll talk with everybody later. Alright everybody, another update on the handlebar. I got 2, you can see here, 2 control panels installed, and I'm working on the 3rd. And when that's installed, I'll work on the engine, anti-gravity engine, whatever you like to call it. I'm almost there. Lighting didn't turn out as great as I wanted it to. The front control panel is not too bad. There's only a few lights working on this one, and then I'll work on this final one back here. But I think overall it's going to look pretty good. I'm going to do this off camera. Maybe I'll set the camera up and do this one because this will be quick and easy, the engine. So I'll continue working on this and the lighting, and I'll talk with everybody later. Alright everybody, back on the Haunebu. Got the final control panel in place, and the fibers worked out great on this one, which I'm happy, and it mounted fine. So I got all three. I don't have them all hooked up yet. I just glued this not too long ago, so I'm going to let it give it a little bit more time, but I can clip off these fiber optics. And then the others, I got an idea. I thought about using canopy glue on some of them that I had problems with the fiber optics, and just instead of using canopy glue, just go ahead and use this 5-minute epoxy because it dries clear. And since those holes are real small on those control panels, I can just touch it a little bit, let it dry, and then it'll have like a lens on the light coming through. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the camera, finish this up, and then get the anti-gravity engine installed next, and I'll be right back. Alright everybody, another update. The interior so far that's done is the 3 control panels. Got them all hooked up to a 9-volt battery. Then I got to work installing the anti-gravity engine. But I figured I'd give everybody a quick look at the lighting. So I'm going to continue working on this. I'll set the camera up for the engine when I install it, and I'll be right back. Alright everybody, another update. I glued the 2 3mm RGBs and the bottom part of the saucer here for the engine to light up. I just got the engine in place right now. I don't have it glued. I'm going to go ahead and hook up a 9-volt battery. Turn the light off. And there you go. All I gotta do is mount this here in a few minutes. I figured I'd give everybody another look at it before I go ahead and do that. I'm doing a toss-up whether I'm going to use regular model glue or the 5-minute epoxy to glue this in place. Probably doesn't matter. I may go with the epoxy, but I figured I'd give everybody another update. Once that's installed, I'll give it a little bit to dry, and then I'll take the camera off the rig and I'll do a close-up shot of the Haunebu and all the lights going and the engine, and it's looking cool. I'll say this part's almost done, so let me pause the camera, get this glued in place, and I'll be right back. Alright everybody, this is the final update on the Haunebu. The control panels, the engine's all installed. The lighting turned out awesome. I'll zoom in here. You can see the main control panel. See the other one here. Looks very cool. And then this one over here. The engine looks pretty sweet. I think that's what tops this whole model off. I got it running on a 9-volt battery. But that lighting looks really cool. I like it when it changes colors. Let me get another overhead view of this. So I'm going to call this a wrap for part 3. I'd like to thank my subscribers. I'd like to thank everybody for watching. Sub to my channel. I'll be starting next on the saucer, so I'll continue working on the next steps to finish this off. It's going to take a while though, but at least I got the control panels and the engine done for the interior of the saucer. So I'll talk with everybody later.